Hello, I'm Sam from Lindo Guitars, and today we're going to be taking a look at undoubtedly one of the coolest looking instruments in the Lindo range, and personally one of my favourites, the Lindo Mizumi Electro Acoustic guitar. The Mizumi was released as part of our Japanese-inspired range, celebrating Lindo's 20th anniversary of making quality instruments. Like all of the Japanese range, this thing looks absolutely stunning. Let's go over some of the features. Now, this guitar always raises a very specific question when people see it for the first time, and I'm sure some of you watching are probably wondering exactly the same thing. It's an acoustic guitar, right? So where the heck is the sound hole? Well, it's actually up here, which is very cool, and we'll talk about what that does for tone in a minute. But for now, let's go over some of the aesthetic features of the guitar, because this thing is absolutely gorgeous. This thing very clearly takes a lot of inspiration from traditional Japanese artwork. In fact, Mizumi, the name of the guitar, is actually the Japanese word for lake. The artwork on the front of the body depicts a beautiful waterscape in a really stunning and stylized color palette. And the back of the guitar is no less beautiful, with a really lovely illustration of this mysterious woman. The sides of the body show off this really lovely exposed wood grain, along with some absolutely beautiful baked maple binding that just complement the artwork on the front and the back perfectly. The turquoise neck is also an incredibly unique feature. It's actually achieved by soaking maple wood in dye to alter its colour. So this isn't any kind of lacquer or finish that's going to wear away. The dye soaks right through to the core of the wood, creating a really durable fretboard that looks absolutely amazing. The fretboard also features some incredibly intricate abalone seashell and maple inlays that just fit the vibe of this guitar so well. They represent the 5 elements in Japanese philosophy: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. The 6th and final inlay on the 12th fret symbolises harmony. The composite wood construction of the neck is also a really interesting and unusual feature. Not only is it absolutely stunning, but the composite wood we use is actually incredibly sturdy and handles things like temperature changes and humidity changes really well, ensuring that this guitar is going to stay pretty much perfectly set up all throughout the year. Using composite wood is actually also an environmentally conscious design choice, because the manufacturing process involved uses considerably less waste than a traditional guitar neck would. From the body to the fretboard to the headstock, everything on this guitar fits so perfectly within that turquoise aged white colour palette, creating something that, aside from being a fantastic guitar, is also a real work of art. So, now onto the construction, and this thing has a few really interesting design features. The sound hole isn't on the front of the body, it's actually up here on the side, which is sometimes referred to as a sound port. From a player's perspective, this is really interesting because when you're playing, obviously on a normal guitar, the sound is projecting pretty much directly straight out of the front, whereas on this guitar, the sound is projecting pretty much directly at you, which creates a really interesting and intimate playing experience that feels really responsive. It's actually quite hard to articulate, but it feels completely unique to this guitar. Another unique design feature on the Mizumi is the hollow bracing inside the body. A lot of what building great acoustic guitars is about is maximizing the resonance of the body without compromising on the strength of the build. Reducing the internal mass of the guitar by hollowing out the bracing allows the body to resonate much better, creating a guitar that sounds really big and full of life without compromising on its structural integrity. The Mizumi has a spruce top, sapele back and sides, and then, as I've already mentioned, this really gorgeous composite wood neck and this stunning turquoise dyed maple fretboard and bridge. Hardware-wise, the guitar has a 43mm ABS nut, it's got a bone saddle and these really nice alloy chrome machine head tuners that look great and provide fantastic tuning stability. It's actually also got glow-in-the-dark fret markers, which is a nice touch and ensures that you'll be able to see what you're doing even if you're playing on a dimly lit stage. In terms of playability and tone, this thing really doesn't miss the mark. It's got a lovely C-shaped neck that's super comfortable to play, and then a really nice deep cutaway up here that gives you really easy access to the higher frets. Now, we always try to set up these guitars to have an action of around or just under 2.5mm at the 12th fret, which is nice and low, making them ideal for both rhythm guitar playing and lead guitar playing. In terms of tone, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the sound hole is up here, which provides a really interesting playing experience. But it's also got quite a big body, which provides a really deep and rich bass response, while still actually maintaining a lot of clarity in those mids and higher ranges. And yeah, it sounds absolutely great. Now, of course, the Mizumi is an Electro Acoustic guitar and features our F40 preamp. Now, this preamp has been a little bit of a mainstay on a lot of Lindo guitars over the years. It's tried and tested, it's reliable, and it sounds great. It has a super intuitive interface that has a volume knob just up here, and then it's got a 3-band EQ, so bass, middle, and treble, and then it's also got a presence slider, which is a nice feature that basically just boosts those high mid ranges so that you can really stick out the mix if you're playing with other people. So yeah, some really nice tonal features, and it also comes with a built-in tuner. So to access that, you just hit the power button here, the LED screen will light up, and you can really quickly and easily get your guitar in tune. Now, one thing that we're really proud of here at Lindo Guitars is that every single one of our instruments gets a full professional setup right here in our Bristol headquarters before we ship them out to you. This ensures that when one of our guitars arrives on your doorstep, it's going to be playing and sounding great straight out of the box. Now, I think we've pretty much gone over all of the features of the guitar, so let's dive into some tones. Now, it is worth quickly mentioning you can get this guitar with both steel strings or nylon strings, which obviously sound very different, so I'll make sure to include demos of both. First up, I'll record the guitar with a microphone so that you can get a really accurate representation of what it sounds like acoustically in the room, and then I'll plug it into the computer so that you can hear what the piezo and the preamp sounds like. So, this has been a quick look at the Lindo Mizumi. You can find this guitar, along with loads of other amazing models, on our website. Thank you for watching, and take care.